Hey chess friends, my name is Sprout, and today I'm going to put together a study plan for anyone that's trying to get above 500 ELO. Are you stuck in the 100 to 500 ELO range? This is for you. This video is to try to help you get past that ELO range. So first, I want to talk about the Sprout system, okay? These are the rules that we are going to adhere to. This is not anything like Chess Bra's habits system. Not at all. Don't know why you said that. But it has a lot of similarities because they're both based on chess principles. And you might think that maybe chess principles are kind of not always useful, situational, but these principles will guide you all the way through your chess journey, even above 1000 ELO. They're always going to be there to fall back on as good general, like, high percentage good moves and good ideas. So we're going to talk about them, and then we're going to talk about how you should study and what you should be doing. I'll take you through the whole process. First of all, we always want to make sure that we are putting a pawn in the center, and two, if your opponent lets you. We're not going to play any fancy openings. Don't worry about fancy openings. Did someone on the chess.com forums tell you that you should play the Sicilian? That's silly. Don't play that silly Sicilian. Just keep it simple. There'll be all kinds of time for you to learn the Sicilian, but this is not the time, okay? This is like your first year in elementary school or something. You're a first grader. You're learning the basics. You're learning the alphabet. You're learning simple word structure. We're not trying to teach you algebra, or we're just trying to keep it simple. There'll be time to get more advanced, but keep it simple. Learn the basics. We're gonna do most of our openings are gonna be E4, E5. That's king pawn openings. Don't get flashy. And all of this, when we play games, we want to make sure to be doing at least rapid time controls or longer. We do not want to be playing, if you're having trouble getting past 100 to 500 ELO and you play a lot of blitz, got news for you. That's one of the reasons why you're having trouble passing 100 to 500 ELO. You need to stop blitz and bullet, like, at all costs. That's hurting your chess. It's going to be great once you've developed these instincts and this chess knowledge. Then you'll be able to utilize that in your blitz and bullet games. But until you reach that point where you have that chess knowledge, blitz and bullet is actually going to teach you bad habits and not make you learn and think and get better. So aside from doing these basic chess principles and knowing about them and doing these in our game, we also need a study plan. It's not enough just to do a ton of rapid games each day. In fact, we want to limit our rapid games to a handful each day. I'll explain that as we go along. With the gap in between, we're not always playing chess, but we want to make sure we have time to do puzzles. And I would recommend half an hour of puzzles. And we're not just going to do any puzzles, okay? I want you, if you haven't done so already, if you don't know about it, go and make a LeeChess.org account. It's completely free. All the puzzles are free. They don't limit you like Chess.com. Love you, Chess.com. Chess.com's great for many, many things. But free puzzles is not one of them. So we want to go over to LeeChess. Make an account there. Once you have an account, there's a puzzles tab at the top of the screen, and we want to go to puzzle themes. Very important. And we're going to arrange these by opening, so we'll choose opening here on the left. And once we're here, we're going to look for Italian game. Why Italian game? Because Italian game is a really good E4, E5 opening that you're going to face a whole lot when you're just playing E4, E5. So we want to select Italian game, and what this is doing is this is just showing us puzzle-like positions that you would reach during this opening, and all the variations of Italian games. So like 4 knights is in there. There'll be some things from Scotch, I believe, the Scotch game, Scotch Gambit. Anything like loosely based around the Italian game setup is going to be included in these puzzles. So that means that you're not spending lots of time, you're not wasting your time on puzzles that you'll never see in any of your games, okay? We're going to train our brain on, specifically on positions and situations that you are going to encounter. And if you do these puzzles for a half an hour a day, you're going to start seeing results in your game. Over the course of 2 or 3 weeks, and you do it every single day, you will notice changes in your game. You just have to make sure to put in the effort. Okay, now to practice our chess principles that I was showing you earlier, I'm going to play a game against a bot at 1000 elo. Why am I playing a bot? It's because I'm pretty highly rated. I don't have like any sort of speedrunning account that I've worked out with chess.com. I don't have any way to play a 100 to 500 elo player right now, so I want to simulate it using a 1000 elo bot. The bot's ratings are always inflated, so hopefully this will at least show you what it's like. We'll be able to practice these chess principles and see how they play out in a game. We're going to play against Maria at 1000, and we're going to start with e4. So we're starting with e4, and we see e5. This is the most common response, especially at, like, your levels. Sometimes you'll see random other moves, and if you do see those moves, you know what to do. If they're not fighting for the center, you take the center for yourself. But we got a piece in the center. Now we have to get castled. We have to develop some minor pieces. So we're going to play the move knight to f3. And we are going to play bishop to c4. They're playing bishop to c5, and at this point, we've gotten our pieces out of the way, and we can castle. But we're not done yet. We still have to do our development, right? We haven't finished our development. So we need to get some more pieces developed. Let's develop the knight on the other side. Okay, they moved their rook to b8. Not sure what that was all about. Anytime you see a move where you think that, oh god, what am I missing? Sometimes it's just called your opponent is bad. And they're not secretly a genius. They just wasted a move. And that's exactly what happened in this case. So, we are going to move our pawn out of the way so that we can get this bishop developed as well. Where can we move the pawn to? Well, we can't really move it to d4, because if you look, d4 right now is being attacked by 3 different pieces, and if you notice, if we played the move d4, we only have 2 pieces that are defending it. So since there are 3 attackers of that square and 2 defenders, that means that it's not a good idea to go there. We will not win that battle. So we're going to play d3. We're going to play d3, and then we are going to try to get our bishop out somewhere. Where can our bishop go, right? We can go to d2, which is safe. We cannot go to f4. We could go to g5, or we could also go to e3, which will result in a trade of bishops. And we're not going to shy away from trades. Trades are fine, so we're going to trade the bishop off. That's just fine with us. We are taking with the f-pawn, and in doing so, taking with the f-pawn, we've also unleashed our rook here. Our rook now can look down the f-file, which is a really good thing. So now we've gotten our minor pieces developed and out of the way. We now have to get our rooks connected and get them moved to the center. So we need to get our queen out of the way to do that. I'm going to move my queen to e2. The reason being is that eventually we want to do a pawn break in the center. All of the good moves happen in the center usually, so all the action happens in the center. So we're going to move our queen off to e2, and we are going to get ready with a pawn break. Alright, so also in this situation, they are attacking our knight, and we need to make an escape hatch for our king. We haven't done that yet. We have to make an escape hatch. Now, in this situation, you could argue that the king could escape this way if needed, but just in general, h3 and h6, depending on what side you're playing as, are just good moves to do, and anytime a piece gets on our side of the board, we want to swat it away. We want to attack it. So we are going to ask them what they are doing, and we see that now they've blundered. Because we have eagle vision, and we're looking for these blunders before every turn. We've seen that instead of removing the bishop, they are allowing it to be taken. So at this point, we do a quick blunder check ourselves, make sure that we're not blundering any of our pieces. This knight cannot really take anything. Obviously, if we take here, you'd expect the knight will take back there. And that's okay. It's a little scary, maybe. Our king is not totally protected, but in that situation, once we take, they retake on g4, we can swing our knight around to h2, and open up the scope of our rook, and our king will be pretty safe. So let's do all that. We take the bishop off the board, they take with the knight, and we are going to play h2. Now the purpose of h2 is also to initiate another trade. Anytime we are ahead in pieces, we want to trade. Trades always benefit whoever is ahead already, so we want to simplify the position. And simplifying just means that, you know, it means what it sounds like. With so many pieces on the board, things are complicated. Once we get ahead by a piece, once we've captured one of our opponent's blundered pieces, our entire strategy is just going to be to simplify down, to trade down. And that way, once we get to an end game, if we've traded all their minor pieces and their rooks off the board and we have one left, it's an easy win. We'll be able to promote a pawn, get a new queen, and it will be no problem. We have to move to g1 in this situation with this check. There's nothing else we can do. So we're going to go ahead and move back to g1. They're bringing their rook in. We notice this rook isn't in yet. We need to do something about that, right? Yeah, so we need to do something. But also, I feel like we need to... we also need to do try to do a trade. So I'm looking at f2 for trading purposes, to just ask the queen, like, hey, do you want to trade with us? Because if we can get this queen off the board, it's really the only piece that they're attacking us with right now. So if we can get that queen off the board, we're probably in a really good spot. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to see if they want to trade with us. Also, in doing this move, we have a lot of pieces aimed at f7, right? So they take the trade. We get our rook off the first rank, and that actually allows us to stack our rooks onto the f file. Which is looking really strong there, right? They played a pawn move over here, which is a little slow. So we still want trades, right? But we never developed this rook. We always want to make sure that all of our pieces have something to do, because chess is a team game. If this rook stayed back here the entire game, it's almost as if our opponent took it already, and we don't have it. So we want to make sure that we're playing with all of our pieces. So we are going to move it over to f1. And now all of our pieces have been activated. They've put a knight on our side of the board. And we have to look now, what is it threatening? Okay, let's look. It's threatening a2, but a2 is protected, right? It's also threatening c2. c2 is protected, and it's also... it's threatening d3 again. d3 is protected. So since it's not threatening anything, it's not really a huge concern, but it is on our side of the board. And anytime a piece goes on our side of the board, we want to chase it away. So we're going to play a3. And we see another blunder. This is, I will add, this is a completely unrealistic blunder. I don't think a human player would do this. But just the same, we notice that they have blundered a piece, so we're going to go ahead and take it. We are being attacked, and there's no reason to allow... There's no reason to allow an attack like that to succeed. We can just pull the knight back. So we'll pull the knight back to e2, because maybe the knight will help with the attack over here on the king's side, but it can't over here being kind of stranded on the queen side where there's no action currently. So we're going to move it to e2. So we did not blunder a piece ourselves, we moved it to e2. They've moved their rook away. So now we have to strike. So we're just going to strike with F2 to F captures F7, starting with the rook. And now we are going to take back with the rook. Does it really matter what we retook with? Technically it does. We see now that we should have probably taken with the bishop because they've locked in our bishop, right? Now we have to decide what to do. And, you know, it's okay, because blundering is a part of chess. And we need to look. We're either going to lose now a bishop or a rook. Which would we rather lose? Like, which is the most valuable? We don't want to lose this rook. So because of that, I'm going to take with the bishop, and then we're going to move the rook away. We're going to move the rook to e5, because as soon as we get towards the endgame, we want to become professional pawn grabbers, okay? So we're just going to start grabbing some pawns. This rook is doing, by the way, a great job on the 7th rank. You can see it's not a principle in my list here, but rooks really want to be on the 7th rank. They love it, and you can see like the control that it exerts. The king can't get into the game really while the rook is controlling the 7th rank, and it makes it really hard for them to like get a rook behind one of their pawns to like support a pawn push. We are completely in control. We're going to move to e7. They take. We go ahead and retake. And now we're just going to clean up some pawns. Because, as I said, we are pawn grabbers. And we're just going to clean up. So let's just keep taking pawns. And this looks like another free pawn. And they can give a check like that. Is the check really worrying to us? No, not really. It's a one-move threat. Everything's locked down, but it also gives us another opportunity to practice a good principle. We are going to move our king forward and use it to help us advance one of these pawns into a queen. So we're going to move our king forward. They can't really do anything here with their rook. I suppose we still need to look at what they might be thinking. Why would they move their rook here? Other than it's a silly move and they just don't know what they're doing. Maybe they do know what they're doing. We can see that they might try to place the rook here and give another check. So, to stop this, I'm going to move my rook up I'm going to move it up one rank. And the reason is, if they give check, I want to be able to go and block it and trade the rooks down. Because at that point, again, we want trades. And that will leave us up 3 pawns and a knight in the endgame. And that looks really good. So we want to try to force some trades. Okay, now they're attacking here. Let's just stop them. Let's just stop them from taking. Now they go back. And let's still just keep walking our king up. We'll just walk our king up the board. They are moving there. Does that do anything? Not at all. So let's start pushing some pawns. So this is guarded, so that doesn't do anything. Let's push a pawn. Which pawn should we push? Well, we've got a couple options. This one could be a passer, and this one looks pretty good too, although their king is kind of closer to it. So let's just start, this is a pawn. Let's start pushing this pawn. And we see now that they are trying to move in and stop the pawn advancing. So we're still going to advance it. And they're still trying. Now we've got a couple options. We can move up here and continue to walk the pawn up. We can also, I suppose, move our knight in. Our knight isn't doing a lot right now, right? But we have it, so we need to be using it. So let's get our knight involved. So they're giving a check. And do we really care? No. Let's keep walking our king up the board. Look how powerful our king is right now. Look at it. Like, this king is just controlling everything. It's forcing their king back in the corner. Their king can't do anything. So we're just going to slowly advance our pawn. The king's trying to get in and do something, right? Let's move to b7. Let's just ask the king where it's going. Let's go ahead and give check. So if we give a check right now, it kind of stops this rook from being able to do anything. And I think the only place the king can really go is here. Because if we give a check, well, I mean, they can go this way. But they can't move forward at all. So let's give a check here. Let's continue walking our king up the board. Right? At this point, we can't promote our pawn. But we should look and see that this pawn controls this square. Our king controls these squares. I mean, this square is also controlled by the knight. So we should be able to see that we technically have a checkmate on the board. We just have to get our rook moved over somewhere, and then we can move it up, and the king is trapped. So let's go ahead and take on g7. The king's trying to run, and now I think what we can do is, yeah, let's move our king forward. By moving our king forward, we're helping to escort this pawn. And they really can't do anything about it. Yeah, so we see the only thing they could do in that situation is give away their rook. And again, now we're just gonna make sure to escort the pawn to promotion. We'll get a queen. And now we want to practice our checkmating pattern. And so we really want to do a ladder checkmate. So let's get the king out of the way. And now we can give our ladder checkmate. And there we go. We're going to do a game review. We need to be reviewing all of our games. Alright, so in this, we saw that we played a 93.4% accuracy. I don't want you as a novice player to be overly focused on the game rating that they give you during these reviews. Look at the breakdown here. Look at the moves, look at misses, blunders, mistakes, and look at your accuracy at different stages. So we see that our accuracy in the opening was 96.7, our accuracy in the middle game was 92.3, and our accuracy in the end game was 92.9. And the accuracy can also kind of guide us to what parts of the game that we need to work on. So if you saw a really high accuracy in your opening, but your middle game ends up being 50%, you know that the middle game is the area where you kind of need to work on. So let's go ahead and start a review, and I'll show you how we should be reviewing different situations that we're looking at. So what we want to be doing is looking for mistakes. Looking for mistakes and blunders. And in this case, we didn't have any mistakes or blunders, so we'll look at some of our opponent's mistakes. And we want to be, what we want to do before we do any of this, if we're using chess.com, what we want to do before using the game review is we want to go into the settings, so click the cog, and we want to go over to interface. And we want to, for show arrows, we want to select neither. It's going to default, I believe, to either best move or coach, or both coach visualizations and best moves. We want to deselect that. We do not want it to show us best moves, because we're not going to learn if the engine tells us right away what the best move is. To get our calculation skills better over time, we want to figure out, oh, we made a mistake, and then we want to try a different move and see if it's like a good move or not. And we're not looking for the best move, okay? We're looking just for a good enough move. So here, they moved their queen to e7. What would have been a better move in this situation? I think moving the bishop out of danger. Let's try it. And we see this is a good move. So if this was, you know, if we were doing this for ourselves as white, since we played as white, that it's the same process. We would be looking at it, seeing that we made a mistake or blunder, and we would be thinking for ourselves, what could be a better move in this situation? What would have been a better idea? And then we'll try it, and we'll see what the engine tells us then. And that's how we should be using the game review to study, okay? And again, we're not concerned about the best moves. Rook, as you see here, Rook to F1, Rook A to F1, is not the best move. It's a good move. It's fine. And that's all we want, because good moves and okay moves are still, you know, they're still going to get the job done. We moved here because we are doubling the rooks, which is a really powerful thing to do with your rooks. So it's a good chess principle. You know, we could have controlled the the center files, but the center files are kind of blocked up right now, and this is an open file. So stacking them is really good. Is it best move? Nope, but it's still a good move. And that's what we want to be looking for. Just good moves. We see here they found the best move, and this is a little bit of a blunder for us. We're going to lose something. Let's see what happened. Taking there was the best move. We made the best move out of a bad situation. And once we started down this path, we kind of had to take with one of these. We should have taken with the bishop. See? Because that would have been the best move. They couldn't have locked in our bishop. And that's fine. We are just going to take and put that away in our brain for the next time. We will remember, right? We'll remember what happened this game. What happened this game? We took this way, and they locked our bishop in. We will remember, oh, that can happen. So in a similar situation, we probably don't want to allow that to happen. And that's how you get better. You get better slowly over time just by, like, these little tiny bits of knowledge entering your brain. And so, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. So again, the takeaways here are that we want to be using the sprout system. We want to be making sure that we try to control the center with a pawn, two if our opponent allows it, right? Getting minor pieces off of starting squares, castling ASAP, making an escape hatch for your king, moving the rooks, getting them connected, you know, the queen off the back rank, connecting the rooks, moving them to the center files in general is really good advice. We want to make sure we're always blunder checking before each move, checking to make sure we're not blundering pieces, and to see if our opponent is blundering pieces. And we want to know basic queen and rook checkmate. So we want to know the ladder mate so that if we get to an end game like we did in today's game, we know what to do. We want to make sure that we are doing puzzles every single day. And we reviewed that we want to be doing 30 minutes of puzzles, and we want to be doing them on Lichess. We want to go to puzzle themes, and we want to search by Italian game, because most of our games are going to be e4, e5. We want to make sure to be doing e4, e5 openings, and this way you're going to be the most efficient with your tactical practice, with your puzzle practice, because you are only going to be seeing positions that you would reach in the games that you're playing. And that's going to give you a huge leg up on the competition over time. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please be sure to like the video. And leave me a comment. I love hearing comments. Leave me some feedback. Let me know what you think, and feel free to, you know, share some games with me. You know, if you take some of this to heart and you really get some improvement, let me know about it. I'd love to hear it. And finally, be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Alright, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!